and others. So here we go. And then, so what happened today is another one of my acquaintances on FaceSpace. She's an author. She put there's a fine line between being vulnerable and letting it all hang out. So she's really talking about like a lot of these celebrity scenarios out there where people are using what I'm going to call situational vulnerability to get interaction, to get what they want and things of that nature. And so here's what I believe vulnerability is. And first of all, I'm going to tell you what I don't think vulnerability is. I don't think vulnerability is something that you should be able to turn on and off. So a lot of people use vulnerability in today's society to get what they want. They use it to get something. And I think that's missing the boat. Like if you're using vulnerability to actually gain something or to manipulate someone, then that's not truly what vulnerability is all about. Vulnerability is taking off your mask. Vulnerability is energy. Vulnerability is being your authentic, true self 24/7, 365 in every scenario and just being you. It's not just about your weaknesses. Vulnerability is about your strengths. Like most people are afraid to pontificate upon their strength because they're afraid of judgment of that. So some of you guys are afraid to share your weaknesses and you think, well, I'll be judged for that. So it's this giant fear of judgments that is keeping every one of us, whether it's from being too successful or whether it's being like sharing a vulnerable moment or a scary moment or something that frightens you. But really what vulnerability is, the true definition of what I believe vulnerability is being your authentic, true, non-BS self in every scenario. Not to try to gain something, not to try to get something, not to try to manipulate a situation or to manipulate a person or to get sympathy or to get praise. Vulnerability isn't about getting anything. Vulnerability is about you just being you, period. Your flaws, your strengths, your beauty, everything that you have to offer, it's just about being an authentic, forthright, honest, truthful presentation of yourself 24/7. It's about taking the mask off, the tough guy mask or the mask of insecurity or the mask of fear or the mask of pain or whatever mask that you're wearing at that particular time. It's about putting those all away and just being your authentic, true self without expectation. Like you don't get to get anything by being vulnerable. Like one of the things that drives me so crazy is when I hear people talking about like, well, I don't want to put myself out there because I don't want to get hurt. Like, what do you mean you don't want to get hurt? Like if you're not going to put yourself out there, you're already hurt. You're already damaged. The problem's already there. What are you talking about? You don't want to get hurt. You're already hurt. So what you can do as a human, if you just want to live wide open, and it's not about like what she was talking about was like letting it all hang out. So what some people do is they use vulnerability situationally, meaning if I need something, if I need to pull on your heartstrings, or if I need you to follow me, or if I need you to do this, or if I want you to like me, then I'll turn on my vulnerability charisma. That's being a charlatan. That's being a snake oil person. That's being full of shit is really what that's being. That means you're using it to manipulate another human being, or you're using it to manipulate another situation. And that, quite frankly, is BS. That, quite frankly, tells me that you don't know anything about, and I'm not talking about you guys, I'm just ranting here. That tells me that that person does not know anything about what vulnerability really is. Vulnerability is when I tell a story and I'm not trying to cry. I'm not trying to get emotional, but the emotion just pours out of me because I'm just telling the story, man. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm being authentic. And it's just that emotion that you get from that rawness. I'm not trying to get you to like me anymore. I'm not trying to get you to love me. I'm not trying to get you to say, oh my God, Jay, we feel sorry for you. Like, I'm not trying to get anything. So vulnerability is really for you. Like being vulnerable allows me to live a life that's wide open. Like I don't have to act like I'm somebody else in any situation. I just get to be me. And if you like that, you're going to love it because it's going to be me 24/7, 365. You're never going to get a different me. You're never going to get a me that's like, well, now I need something from you. So I'm going to like tug on your heartstrings a little bit. I'm just going to be me 24/7. And that's what true vulnerability is to me. I think a lot of us think about it in situational aspects, like, well, if I'm vulnerable, this might happen. Well, what do you mean if I'm vulnerable? What do you mean this might happen? Like you're playing too many scenarios in your mind. Like you're trying to manipulate a situation with a behavior or an emotion which is inauthentic. Like true, real, authentic vulnerability is just you taking that mask off, throwing it away, and just being yourself. That's it. Like very few of us in the world today can really, truly just be our authentic, true self. We just can't because we're afraid of everything. We're afraid of judgment from so-and-so. We're afraid I'm not going to get this many likes on FaceSpace. Like we're afraid I'm not going to get new Instagram followers. We're afraid. I'm going to tell you this. I lived 25 years of my life afraid of effing everything. Afraid of myself, afraid of all my emotions, afraid of my thoughts, afraid of people, afraid of situations, afraid of relationships, afraid of love, afraid of money, afraid of spirituality, afraid of death, afraid of life, afraid of everything. I'm telling you, I wasted 25 years of my life, and that's why you get what you get today. Like, this is just me. I say the F word sometimes. Don't like me for that. It's okay with me. Like I'm who I am. I am never going to try to be somebody I'm not. Because I did it for 25 years. I tried to be somebody for somebody else, and I tried to manipulate situations because I was afraid. I didn't want to get hurt and whatever. Guess what? I didn't want to get hurt because my ass was already hurt. Like today, I don't care. Hurt me. Come at me. Tell me you don't love me. I can take it because I'm authentically me in every freaking situation. That's what vulnerability is. And unless you have it, unless you're willing to live a vulnerable life, you are going to miss out on so many amazing opportunities. You're going to miss out on love. You're going to miss out on connection. You're going to miss out on just so many things that you truly want, but you're just afraid of them. And I can tell you from personal experience, I was afraid of them for 25 years and I got none of them. None of them. Because I wouldn't allow it. But once I decided this is BS, man, like I'm not a tough guy. I lived 25 years as a tough guy, like thinking I'm some kind of, you guys know me. I'm not a tough guy. I'll cry right now if I tell a good story, if it hits me right. But man, 20 years ago, like you wouldn't see this guy shed a tear. You could punch me in the face. You could say anything. Like I was stone cold emotionless because I was damaged inside. I was fearful inside. I was angry inside. I was uncertain inside. I was scared of everything inside. And there's no way I would have ever been vulnerable. There's zero way I would have ever done that. And my life sucked. So I'm telling you right now, stop using vulnerability situationally, even if you don't mean to. Stop using it situationally. Stop using it to manipulate a situation or to manipulate a person or to manipulate an event or to manipulate yourself. Some of you use vulnerability to manipulate yourself. Like you're manipulating your own emotions. You're not even being authentic and real with yourself. And if you can't be authentic and real with yourself, who the hell are you ever going to be authentic about? Impossible. Can't be done. So my message to you is this. Whether you like what I'm saying or not, whether you believe it, whether you don't believe, whatever, figure out what vulnerability means to you. And my suggestion would be, if you're trying to use it situationally, if you find yourself like putting these masks on throughout the day to be somebody that you're really authentic, you're really not, then you're not truly being vulnerable. You really don't understand what the definition of authentic vulnerability is. So that's my take on vulnerability, guys. That's it from me. Like I said, my opinion, it's not the gospel, it is what it is, right? So if you like it, then beautiful. Let's run with it. If you don't like it, figure out what vulnerability means to you. Like maybe it's something totally different and that's totally cool, but maybe you don't know. And maybe this video will help you a little bit. Maybe it'll help you get to the bottom of what real vulnerability is, what true vulnerability is. And I promise you this, whatever you think it is, if you can actually start authentically living with vulnerability as one of your co-pilots 24/7, 365, and you can take that mask you have on and throw it away forever, leave it, put it behind you, don't even use it again, even when you want to pick it up, because we all do. Sometimes I want to pick up a mask, you know what I mean? But I don't anymore because I understand what 25 years of living with a mask on felt like, never doing it again. So I'll take the getting hurt. Like I'll take the punches. I'll take whatever it is that vulnerability brings me because I know that the reward is way greater than the risk. All right. Love you. See you.